Good morning, this is Aunt Beth. Welcome to my lamppost, light I'm currently living in. This morning I want to ask you an odd question. Do I smell? Do you smell? Of course, across the internet we haven't yet developed the ability to transmit smells. But it's a fun seed thought to think about, in the sense of signature sense. Since this world is basically a shadow or a copy of a template, the eternal, the spiritual, also has smells. Did you know that? Did you know your words have a smell? Your life has a smell? I was thinking of a whole bunch of random thoughts, and I'll tell you a story as well, but scientists say about, I guess it's about at least over 60%, some scientists say 75, some people go as high as 80 to 90% of our taste is actually smell. So smell is actually pretty important. And did you know that cats, if their nerve, that olfactory nerve, is severed so that they can't smell, they won't eat? They won't eat what they can't smell. They'll starve to death, even with food right there, because they can't smell it. So I just thought that was fascinating. But talking about signature scents, I've been wondering what mine is before the Lord. When I think in the natural, in the physical world, I smell this perfume Charlie. I think of my mom. She loved that smell. She wore it. When I smell Jergens hand lotion, I think of my Nana. When I smell cherry pipes tobacco, I think of my grandfather. And he was always forgetting and sticking his pipe in his pocket and lighting his pants pockets on fire. But even after he quit smoking a pipe, he would suck on it. And, the smell was just so lovely. And I think of my grandfather then. Now, animals have a different appreciation for what smells nice. I remember one Christmas Eve, we had 2 collies at the time. It seemed like we always had 2 dogs at a time, and they were always big dogs. So Christmas Eve, we're trying to get out the door to go to Christmas service. And my mom let the dogs out to do their business, and they found something and they rolled in it, and they thought they smelled lovely. They didn't smell lovely. What are you going to do? So Mom put them in the breezeway, and off we went to church. And we'll deal with that one later. They thought they smelled lovely. They didn't smell lovely. And I wonder how often we think we smell lovely and God doesn't think we smell so lovely. We've been rolling around and thoroughly enjoying ourselves in something dead, Dead works, whatever. So I'm thinking about what my signature scent is before God, because I'm going to have to live with it for a long time. But did you know you really can't smell yourself? Your baseline, you can smell when you smell different, like sweaty, stinky. And if you have gotten accustomed to a smell after like 15 minutes, you can't smell anymore, okay? If like you're in a paper mill, which I was, you can't smell it after the first 15 minutes. Your clothes are carrying that aroma, but you can't smell it. But I learned this from a sensory analyst at McCormick. If you sniff the inside of your wrist, you can sort of recalibrate your nose. About 15 seconds on the inside of your wrist. Smell yourself to recalibrate your nose. Of course, if you're in a paper mill, you might not want to until you're out of the paper mill. But I've been thinking about, since the Bible talks in Ephesians and Corinthians and Philippians that our lives have a smell before God. Boy, I hope it's a decent smell. That I haven't been rolling in something dead. You know, sometimes when you've been with somebody a long time, you start to smell like them, their clothes, or you can, if you've been to a party and you smell like cigarette smoke, your clothes are picking up the smell of where you've been. And I think the thing is true, the same is true of the eternal, the spiritual. You know, it's just not obvious to us yet. But, you know, I have a smell, you have a smell. Let's hope it's a nice smell. Let's hope we smell like Jesus. So, just a fun seed thought to think about on this sort of rainy Saturday. And it's March 9th when I'm recording this, so don't forget to set your clocks forward if you live in the United States. Spring forward. So, I hope you have a fabulous day. All God's best.